Most people assume the dark web is just an exaggerated myth, a place surrounded by rumors, warnings, and curiosity. But in 2020, during lockdown, I spent more time online than ever before, and eventually, curiosity got the better of me. I wasn't looking for anything illegal. I was simply searching for rare software tools that weren't easily available on the normal internet. At least, that's how it started. I downloaded a virtual machine, installed a secure browser, and followed a few guides online. Everything felt technical, almost boring at first. Forums, hidden websites, strange directories, nothing particularly shocking. But then I found a link. It was buried deep inside a forum thread, just a random string of letters ending in .onion. No description, no explanation, just a warning posted by another user. Don't stay too long. Naturally, I clicked it. The website itself was completely black. No images, no logos, just a simple login box and a single sentence. Access is temporary. I almost closed the page, assuming it was broken, until a new message appeared. Guest access granted. The screen changed instantly. I found myself inside what looked like an old-fashioned chat room. Usernames filled the left side of the screen, most of them strange combinations of numbers and letters. No profile pictures, no bios, just anonymous identities talking about things I didn't fully understand. At first, the conversations seemed random. People were sharing links, discussing strange internet archives, talking about obscure forums that had disappeared years ago. But then I noticed one username that kept appearing again and again. Sabuner22. People reacted differently whenever this name entered the chat. Conversations would slow down, sometimes stop entirely. Curious, I clicked on the username. There was no profile, no description, only a list of links that he had shared. One user in the chat wrote, "Don't open those unless you're ready." Another replied, "Too late for most of us." I should have left at that point. Something about the tone felt wrong, like walking into a room where everyone suddenly goes quiet. But curiosity is a powerful thing. I clicked one of the links. The page loaded slowly. Didn't show anything immediately disturbing, just a short video file with no thumbnail. I hovered my cursor over the play button for a few seconds, unsure if I really wanted to see what was on the other side. Eventually, curiosity won. The video quality was poor, grainy, almost like old security footage. It showed a dimly lit room with no clear details, just shadows moving slightly in the background. Nothing obvious, nothing clearly shocking. And yet, something about it felt deeply uncomfortable. It wasn't what I saw. It was the feeling that I wasn't supposed to be seeing it at all. I closed the video after a few seconds. Back in the chat room, people were reacting to the same link. Some users typed a single word, "Why?" Others simply logged off. Someone asked Kibuner22 where he found the video. His response was only 4 words. People share strange things. Over the next few days, I returned to the chat room several times. I told myself I was just observing, just trying to understand why this place even existed. Each time I joined, Sibuner22 seemed to already be there. He rarely spoke directly to anyone. He simply posted links and waited. And every time he did, the atmosphere in the chat room changed. Some users became quiet. Others left immediately. One user typed, "I think this person is being watched." No one responded. Eventually, I stopped visiting the site altogether. Whatever was happening there, I didn't want to become part of it. Months passed. I forgot about the chat room completely, until late 2022, when I stumbled across the link again in an archived thread. The website was gone. The page no longer existed. But what stayed with me wasn't the videos or the strange conversations. It was the feeling that the internet still contains places we were never meant to find. Places where people don't ask questions because they're afraid of the answers. And sometimes, the scariest part isn't what you see, it's realizing that someone, somewhere, wanted you to see it. 3 years ago, my brother disappeared without a trace. No note, no warning, no explanation. One day, he was sitting across from me at the dinner table, and the next day, he was simply gone. We searched everywhere. Police reports, missing posters, online forums. Nothing helped. It felt like he had erased himself from existence. My parents never recovered from it. My father stopped talking about the future. My mother kept his room exactly the same, as if he might return at any moment. But he never did. Over time, I became obsessed with missing person cases. I read everything I could find. Unsolved disappearances, strange mysteries, unexplained vanishings. Some people disappear because they want to, others because someone wants them to. During one of my late-night research sessions, I found a strange discussion thread about a hidden website on the dark web. People were talking about something called Memory Box. According to the thread, the website claimed it could provide closure for families of missing people. Most comments called it fake, some called it dangerous, but a few users claimed they had actually received something in the mail after submitting information about someone who had disappeared. I told myself it was probably just an internet hoax. Still, curiosity is hard to ignore when you've spent years wondering what really happened. So I accessed the site. The page was simple. No images, no branding, just a text field asking for information about the missing person. Name, last known location, last photograph, and one strange question: what would you be willing to know? I hesitated before typing my brother's name. I uploaded the last photo I had of him, taken just 2 days before he disappeared. Then I submitted the form. Nothing happened. No confirmation email, no message, just silence. 2 weeks passed, and I completely forgot about it. Until one afternoon, a small package arrived at my door. There was no return address, only my name, printed on a plain white label. Inside the box was a smartphone. No SIM card, no charger, just the phone. When I turned it on, there was only one video saved in the gallery. My hands felt cold as I pressed play. The video showed a dimly lit room. The camera was slightly tilted, like it had been placed on a table. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then, someone walked into frame. At first, I didn't recognize him. He looked thinner, tired, different, but it was him, my brother. He didn't look scared. He didn't look injured. He looked calm, too calm. The camera never showed the full room, only shadows moving slightly in the background. At one point, he looked directly into the camera lens, and for a brief moment, it felt like he was looking directly at me. The video ended abruptly. No explanation, no location, no context, just proof that he was somewhere, alive at least at the time the video was recorded. I immediately contacted the authorities and handed over the phone. They examined the device but couldn't trace where it came from. No fingerprints, no sender information. Even the phone itself had been modified to hide its origin. The investigation went nowhere. But what disturbed me most wasn't the video itself. It was what I found a few days later. Hidden inside the phone's notes app, there was a single sentence typed repeatedly hundreds of times. I chose this, over and over again. I chose this. I chose this. I chose this. I still don't know what it means. Did he leave voluntarily? Was he forced to write that? Was the message even meant for me? I tried to revisit the Memory Box website, but it no longer existed. The link had disappeared, almost as if it had never been there at all. Sometimes I wonder how many other families received similar packages, how many people got answers they wish they never asked for, because once you open something like that, you can never unknow it. And sometimes, not knowing is the only thing protecting you. In 2019, I used to spend a lot of time exploring forgotten parts of the internet. Old forums, archived pages, websites that hadn't been updated in years. Most of them were harmless, just abandoned blogs or broken links leading nowhere. But one night, I found something that didn't feel abandoned at all. It felt hidden. I was browsing an obscure forum thread about strange websites when someone posted a simple message. Some pages are never meant to be found. Below the message was a link. No description, no warning. Just a long string of random characters ending in .onion. At first, I assumed it was just another dead page. But when the site loaded, I immediately knew something was wrong. The home page was completely blank, except for a single image in the center of the screen. It looked like a hand-drawn sketch, black and white, rough lines, almost childlike. I couldn't immediately understand what the drawing was supposed to be. The shapes were unclear, messy, distorted, but the longer I stared at it, the more uncomfortable I felt, because slowly, the drawing began to make sense, and once it did, I wished it hadn't. I scrolled down. More drawings appeared, dozens of them, each slightly more detailed than the last. The same theme repeated over and over again, the same disturbing idea, shown in different ways. Some sketches were crude, others looked far more precise, as if the person drawing them had spent time perfecting every detail. The site had no menu, no text, no explanation, just images, page after page. I told myself it was probably just disturbing artwork. People create strange things online all the time, but then I noticed something strange. Some drawings included objects that looked real, everyday items, furniture, rooms, background details that seemed too specific to be random imagination. One drawing showed a narrow hallway, another showed what looked like a basement. The more I looked, the more it felt like these weren't just drawings. They were records, memories. I tried to ignore the feeling, tried to convince myself it was just paranoia, until I reached the final page. At the bottom of the site, there was a single photograph. Unlike the drawings, the photo was real, low quality, poor lighting, taken inside what looked like a dark room. On a wooden shelf, there were several objects placed carefully in a row. At first glance, they didn't look unusual, just random items, old clothing, watches, small personal belongings, things people carry every day. But something about the way they were arranged felt deliberate, organized, intentional, almost like a collection. Below the photo, there was one line of text. "They help me remember." That was the only sentence on the entire website. No name, no explanation, no contact information, nothing. I closed the page immediately. I didn't want to think about what I had just seen, didn't want to imagine who created those drawings, or why those objects were kept so carefully. Days passed. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me. I decided to search the internet for similar images. I uploaded one of the drawings into a reverse image search. No results, nothing matched. But while searching, I came across an old news article from years ago. It mentioned a man who had recently been arrested. The article didn't show many details, just a short paragraph explaining that authorities had discovered disturbing materials on his personal computer. The article also mentioned something else. Investigators had found hundreds of drawings stored in folders on his hard drive, drawings that documented thoughts he had never shared publicly. The article didn't include the images, but it did include one detail that made my stomach tighten. The drawings often included repeated objects, personal belongings connected to unidentified individuals. I never confirmed whether the website I found was connected to that case. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe someone recreated similar artwork. Or maybe some things don't fully disappear when they're removed from the internet. Sometimes they just become harder to find. The strange part is, I was never able to locate the website again. The link stopped working the next day. No archived version. No screenshots posted anywhere. Nothing. Almost as if the page had only existed long enough for a few people to see it. Sometimes I still wonder why someone would create a site like that. Why keep those drawings? Why keep those objects? And why leave it hidden where almost no one would ever find it? Unless it wasn't meant for everyone, just for the few people curious enough to keep searching. Because the internet doesn't forget anything, even the things we wish it would. And sometimes, the most disturbing pages aren't the ones everyone talks about. They're the ones that quietly disappear without explanation. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more mysterious stories. And if you've ever experienced something strange or unexplained yourself, feel free to share it in the comments. You never know, your story might be featured next.